Ashtavakra Gita, Chapter 1, Verse 16. You pervade this universe and this universe exists in you. You are really pure consciousness by nature. Do not be small-minded. The sage in the previous verses has told multiple times that you are the highest of the highest. You are the supreme bliss. You are bright, beautiful light. And he had also mentioned that you getting identified with the body is the only bondage that you are caught up with. The desire of the outside is the only suffering. If we observe carefully, the sage is subtly telling us that we have a choice. And in verse 4, the sage says, you are free in this very moment when you choose to detach yourself from this body. Now, in case you would like to listen to all the verses, I have added the playlist link in the description, which consists of all the verses. If we observe, this power of choice that we have is a blessing as well as a curse. Why is that so? Because the same choice is letting us choose either one. We have a choice to be the ultimate bliss, and also we have a choice to getting identified with the body and suffer. The sage has told many times that if you consider yourself to be ego, then you are suffering. We might be thinking, how is this even possible not to be identified with the body? What is the sage saying here? Is this even practical? Let's see. The sage wants us to experiment on all of these verses. The sage is very much saying to inquire on our actions. When he's saying, you pervade this universe and this universe exists in you, he's saying to reject the partial and become the total. Let's go deeper into this. How do you normally identify yourself? By your name, profession, or say someone asks, how was your day? We normally look at the things that happened and our responses to the situations and decide if the day was, good, bad, okay. And our happiness or sadness would be dependent on someone or something. When I say someone, it can even be ourselves with some imagination of what we think of ourselves. So basically, all of this are related to the tiny identities that we would have created in our mind. The sage is saying to reject all these tiny identities because these tiny identities are like a chain. If you get identified with one, it will lead you to the other and another and another. We can check this right now. Like say, I am identified as so and so person. Then the mind quickly builds an image with this identity, like what my relationships is, what my work is, and few of the situations, be it good, bad, or anything, right? So all of these identities are product of one identity that I create, right? So all of these identities is in groups, and there are many. The sage is saying this will never be complete. Choose that one identity which is complete and total. This identity can never be total because we are making partitions with it. It can never be total. Reject this. And when he says reject this, he is not meaning that, okay, we'll have to run away from our house or our family. No. He's actually empowering us by introducing us to our true nature. True love is introducing someone to their own self. True love is bringing someone closer to the truth. And this is possible by rejecting the false. The truth is non-dual. Observe this very carefully. What are we identified with? What are the stories that these identities are caught up with? Is this what we are? Enquire. With this inquiry, we will be able to discern many things. Be with this inquiry. Let's see the examples of few who have shown us this potential. I feel Jesus could have saved himself by just agreeing to what people who was torturing him wanted him to accept. But he chose to be with the truth. And for Jesus Christ, his body was of no significance in front of the truth. Why did Sri Krishna take part in Mahabharata? That's the war between Kauravas and Pandavas. Was he gaining any personal profit from this? Not really. Buddha had a luxurious life. He was a king. But once he got the flavor of the truth, he went in search of it and left all the pleasure. Normally, the ego wants to enjoy the pleasures. The body wants to have all the pleasures. Buddha went against it. Many Sufis were beheaded because they didn't agree to follow certain rules or religion. And Sufis were fine to give up their body, dancing and whirling in bliss. They all choose the truth because that is the highest. And truth cannot be denied for anything. It is the highest and the priceless. Nothing is equivalent to the truth. And the masters have not renounced anything. They are actually having real fun. That's why the sages are telling to come out of the illusion and be the bliss of truth. The sages are pointing to that highest. Why are you just caught up with, minimal pleasures? Why don't you have that the highest of the highest? Highest of the highest bliss. That's when the sage is stressing more on the choice. We too have this choice. The choice is the key. The truth is obvious, my dear ones. Why are you choosing the false when all the lies have been rejected? When all of this has been rejected, I don't exist anymore. Though I might be physically operating, the ego would not be driving us. When ego is driving us, the bodily decisions would be towards pleasure. With this choice of the truth, the sage says the whole universe exists in you. There is no distinction here. There is no parts here. There is no running behind anything for pleasure here. Check what is your desire now. What is your suffering now? When there is no distinction, there is no desire. When there is no desire, there is no suffering. You are naturally pure. The tiny identities and the distinction is for the ego. The sage is saying, you are the source of existence. Everything is you and everything is from you. If you are not able to believe this, then it's only because you have chosen to be small. And because of your belief, the truth will not change, my dear child. Inquire and reject the false. You are the pure consciousness.